Hello everyone, this is the Metal Geek coming at you, and my partner in crime,
Milky.
As always, guys, spoilers, okay? If you are listening to this and you have not watched the episode, we are going to ruin it all for you, so turn around, go watch it, come back. Again, we're not going anywhere. These are going to be up and ready for you to listen to at any time.
Yep.
So, let's get right into it. We had a little bit of a pre-discussion. You think this is a very strong episode. I think this is a strong episode. We'll get more into the ratings later, but wow.
Gordon is a badass.
Gordon, 1, is a badass, and 2, this episode followed the trend from last week. This is a character-driven episode. It's not a procedural like... last week we had kind of the procedural because we had the Spirit of the Goat, but it was a character-driven episode about Bullock. And this week we got the continuing story of Gordon versus the mob.
Versus Gotham, pretty much.
Which is the mob.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. What I really liked about this episode is it pushed things forward.
Yeah, definitely.
And before all is said and done, you and I are going to have a small discussion about the title of the episode.
Okay.
Because I've noticed a trend with the titles and how the titles aren't literal, but they're more metaphorical.
Well, that's what we said last episode.
Yeah.
Maybe protection,
exactly, and
rain,
you weren't too
umbrella,
you weren't too far off. It wasn't witness protection, but he's got his bases covered.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, guys. But come on, anything you got to say right off the bat here, Milky?
I thought it was a really strong episode. Little things here and there that I really liked about it, like Zaz, he was pretty dead on. From the comics, the two girls, the ladies that were with him were very, very Frank Miller-ish, I thought. With the leather, that kind of punk type, look. Like the 80s, from the Dark Knight and stuff like that.
Dark Knight Returns.
We see Fish start the war in this episode. And that Gotham PD is beyond corrupt.
It is, but at the same time, there was a little bit of a turnaround. You can see that Gordon is having an impact in a very positive way.
Yeah, recruiting a small army right now. Well, not even army, but,
he's building the trust.
The crusade.
The people that he can trust. And thankfully, he was a little bit pissed at the beginning, but Bullock did come around. Mind you, he was...
Oh, yeah.
He was going, oh, well, I'm doomed anyway, so might as well just go with the flow.
Have fun.
But I think it was a little bit more than that. I think he actually he was just mad because, Gordon lied to him and stuff.
And we also see Alfred being pretty badass.
He's got a cop, and he's got him against the car, and the cop's like,
armbar.
Oh! No, but also... big spoiler, guys, for next week. We actually spoiled this back when we did our Comic-Con week. If you saw the preview at the end of this episode... That's
what you were talking about with
Bruce
the panel.
is going to ask...
And I was wrong. He said yes. I remember we speculated, or at least I speculated that Alfred would say no at first. Well, or maybe try, to steer him away, but with this,
at least by the preview.
Awesome. Yeah.
By the preview. Let's see if it actually holds
up.
Yeah. Because, previews can be just a little misleading, but still, it's there. So it's definitely going to happen. So the spoiler stuff that they gave us at the panel is right on the money. And so, guys, be watching out for that one to see how that's going to turn out. This episode, it was called Penguin's Umbrella. And we've been talking about it, for a few weeks now.
Just mentioning the title here and speculating.
And speculating on it. Here's the thing, guys. Let's go back to that title discussion I was talking about. The episode was called Penguin's Umbrella. And, Milky last week was thinking, it's going to be witness protection. It's going to cast him, protection over him, like an umbrella from the rain. You weren't too far off. It was just a little different, though. He's casting his own umbrella by playing both sides.
Pretty much.
He's got it to the point where Maroni won't do anything to him, will protect him because he thinks he's a golden goose. And then you've got Falcone, who's going to protect him because he's a snitch for him. So they're literally... It doesn't matter which one pulls the trigger first. Someone's going to protect him.
Yeah.
It is such a wicked
And of course,
play.
they're gonna play it off because their enemies are gonna play off that. Well, if you want him dead, then I want him alive.
Exactly.
And then that's what they're doing.
Exactly. He's built his protection by making him indispensable to both sides. It's beautiful, and that's the kind of storytelling I love.
Yeah, I think it's come the show's pretty much at a high right now. Like it's coming off of last week. They hit stride, storytelling wise, and finding that balance. And I think it's just continuing on to this. It's one fluid machine now.
It very much so is, and I really like the dynamic between Falcone and Maroni, because it's just like 1 minute they could be, family, hugging each other, respecting each other, and the next minute they're going to be at war.
Yeah.
But that's largely because, in all honesty, Fish is trying to get that war started. She really wants it.
She wants Gotham.
She wants it, and she's going after it no holds barred at this point. She's like, she's just... What was it that Falcone said? That anarchy is going to be, the enemy to Gotham, not us. And I think she's actually trying to create an anarchy so that she can swoop in.
And little does she know that Falcone's playing her because of the Penguin. It's all connected. The Penguin, Falcone laid out the past couple weeks storyline of Penguin going out of Gotham, getting killed by Gordon, doing a favor for Penguin, then Penguin doing a favor for Falcone. And it's basically, I think it's pretty awesome. Like, it's not rushed, like what we said earlier in the earlier episodes, like on how it felt a little rushed, Penguin getting back. But it's because of the story,
Yeah, but it's also starting to make more sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's building up at this point to something that is more significant than, one thing being one thing. This is actually starting to tie in at this point. And a lot more with Barbara, too. Because we actually got a lot more of her storyline, why she's so adamant about wanting to know stuff. A little too headstrong, though, because, Gordon's like, get the hell out of Gotham, and she comes back. I mean, mind you, she's strong and she's trying to protect Gordon.
I think with her character, too, they're kind of foreshadowing, I think, Batgirl. Because you see a lot of Barbara, the daughter's qualities in Barbara, the mother. So, and in the most comics, Barbara's not around, the mother's not around, Gordon's wife.
No, you're right. You're right.
So, that's what I think. They're just foreshadowing Batgirl and showing, her attitude.
Well, and when we are, of course, establishing that age difference with Bruce and Barbara, the daughter.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Because she's not even born yet.
Yeah.
But the story's pushing forward at this point at a much more even rate. And it's coming to it's coming to a fork in the road where it could go in many different directions. And we're very clear that the Penguin has got so many aces up his sleeve right now that it's going to take a really, really bad day to screw it all over.
And if you don't see Penguin becoming ruler of Gotham pretty soon, then
that means the Joker has finally showed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Is there anything in particular that you really liked about this episode?
I like that Bullock. What we said before in the previous episodes, where Bullock in a tight situation, he will do the right thing, and he's doing the right thing by joint. Well, yeah, it is the right thing. Going out for justice, arresting the bad people. And I think it was pretty good with that. Also that MCU is taking over the Wayne's murder because Gordon's too close to it. He doesn't want anything happening to Bruce.
Yeah.
Or anything. I thought that was pretty good. And it's just overall, I think Penguin just stole the episode. That his character in the show is really, really good.
He is manipulating everybody. I'm with you with Bullock, too. In the end, he will do the right thing. He will do the right thing. Of course, in this case, it's after Whiskey and the Duchess, but he will do the right thing. So, guys, if you want Bullock on your side, a bottle of whiskey, get him,
And that was pretty cool. Major Crime showing up on Gordon's side, coming up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And firing back at Zaz.
It was great. I mean, Zaz was represented very well in this.
Yeah, very well.
He had his over-the-top comic book moments, but it worked very well in this episode. He's also just freaky because, in this show, because he's just going after everybody. He doesn't care. He's shooting cops. He's shooting at Gordon. And, that actually blew my mind. They shot Gordon twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, he took a couple bullets.
I mean, it wasn't even like he got hit in the leg and he just, that was it. He got nailed in the leg and I believe in the side, right?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So he was pretty bashed up. In fact, he was told not to even get back up on his feet.
Yeah, in the vet, or in Science Center.
Yeah, and but
science
Gordon
research.
got up on his feet anyway. My favorite standout scene, I have to say, in this particular episode is actually when Gordon defies what he's supposed to be doing to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets up onto his feet, and it's just like, they're like, no, you could die. And he's like, I have to get on my feet. Because this, you can see the drive in Gordon at this point. And this is very much a point, an integral moment in his life that shows what he's going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, he did punchline it where it's like, okay, yeah, up on your feet. You might want to put clothes on first, But in the end, it turned out to be an excellent, excellent little scene for me. So, yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add to this episode discussion?
I just thought also real quick that the scene with Gordon getting in the limo with the mayor was pretty funny.
That was actually great.
Bullock turns around with a little driver cap.
Oh, that weasel little mayor.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mayors.
Overall, I think, like what I said before, I think it's still like on a high from last week. Like, it's really.
I wanted to hold that level though.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
it's okay to dip a little bit because you can have those little fill-in episodes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I want that narrative to do what it's been doing for the last 2 weeks.
And it feels like a Batman story.
It absolutely does. Absolutely does. And, again, there's a little bit of a push with Bruce, where he's just like, stop talking to me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand what you're saying. And Gordon's like, but you are a kid. But Bruce, at this point, too much scarring already.
Yeah.
He's not going to stop doing his thing. So Gordon leveled with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, look, this is the way it could turn out. So if anything goes wrong, these two have got your back.
Yeah.
I'm here for you if I can be, but I might not be able to always be here for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, in a way, almost like a fatherly moment, but a little different.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, with that said, before we move on to...
Well, we'll get into that. That's just the trust that's being built up, No,
and you have to have that
which
trust
leads to
built.
Batman and Gordon, on the rooftops.
And it's like, you have to... Well, I mean, you're putting your trust in a man that dresses in a bat suit and has gadgets like you wouldn't believe. In the comic books, I always, in other stories, I always was like, I wonder why Gordon never really picked up on it, because how many people would have enough money to have what Batman has? And but that, I hope they don't. Actually, to be honest with you, we've talked about it before, and we kind of feel that the way that they're getting to, the storyline between those two are developing, that he might know he's Batman by the time he becomes
exactly.
Batman.
Yeah.
I actually would like to see it go that way, because I would like to see Gordon have to make a decision right up front. Am I here to uphold the law in a certain way, or am I going to put my trust in this guy that I know, who might be a bit eccentric because he's throwing on a bat suit, but in the end he's trying to do what's good.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce does have that, even now he has that line, no killing.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being a vigilante who kills and a vigilante who doesn't. And Arrow just actually, they in the second season of Arrow, they really covered that too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost caught up there, so we might be doing the Flash soon, guys.
Sweet.
But very much in the earlier parts of Arrow.
Actually, fun fact about that: the producers went to Neil Adams. Neil Adams wrote Green Arrow and Green Lantern back in the 70s and 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and they asked him if they liked the show, and he said no, because Green Arrow kills in the show, and Green Arrow doesn't do that in the comic books. So then that's when they made the change to the producers to make him stop killing.
So I like how they did it too, because not to go off into much of a side story with this whole thing, but I mean it was spoiler alert. But basically, when Tommy died, and he decided that he was gonna not kill, and the memory of his friend, he'll hurt you, but he won't kill you. But then again, Batman will hurt you.
I think Batman will put a more beating on you than.
But he's more like
Green Arrow.
He's more physical, like straight up kicks and punches. True. You know, I mean, with Arrow, even in the Green Arrow.
Would you rather get shot with an arrow or get like a battering thrown at you?
Either way, you know, I'd rather just.
What would be less pain?
I'd rather have Batman just punch me square in the face. I'd rather have that happen. Just don't break anything. Yeah. Just knock me out.
Keep me pretty.
But before we move on to our like speculations, nitpicks, anything like that, my rating of this episode this is a very strong episode for me. I don't think it was quite as strong as the episode before, but I'm putting it around a 4.4 batarangs, just a little less than I gave last week's episode.
I give it a 4.5. Last week you gave it a 4.5, and I gave it a low 4, and it's just funny.
Yeah.
But I thought like really good. Like I think last episode helped this episode a lot. Like keep it on that high and like keep it going. Like, as I keep saying, but, I think it was a really strong episode.
It was a very strong episode, so giving it even a slightly lower score than last week, just having 2 episodes that score higher than 4 for us in a row, because previous to this, we were reluctant to really push it into the 4. We were talking about how it was the potential was always there, but it was always teetering. It was just
never executed.
And now it's fully there, and now they have to hold on to it, though. They got to be able to hold it. So that's our ratings, guys. Any nitpicks for this episode?
Not at all. I think if they keep it up with the way the show is going in the right direction, I think it's going to be good. And I thought it was like kind of like a true Batman story, where in the sense where you don't know who's the person behind the curtain pulling the strings, like, and that the big reveal that Penguin's working with Falcone. I thought that was really, really good, and like a callback to like Batman stories in the past where there's like an unknown force or like someone pulling strings that you would least expect.
Well, Penguin walking over that hill with the actual umbrella.
That's
cool. But no, that was a great reveal. I actually don't have a ton of nitpicks, to be honest with you, for this episode either. Everything did work for me. The narrative I didn't feel was quite as strong as last week.
And none of us really saw this coming,
But in the end, I didn't really have any nitpicks for this episode either, because it took what happened last week and it did build on it properly. Like, absolutely so. The reveal of, Falcone at the end was great for me. I think the only nitpick I might have is I just is still not really getting the sense of Fish Moody's secret woman weapon, how she's really working for, I mean, we get some idea of how it's going, but
I think with that we haven't seen the whole truth with Penguin. I think Penguin's gonna maybe find out or maybe tipped Falcone off
that she's got the secret weapon. Because
Fish went psycho saying that Penguin knows all the secrets and stuff like that. And like, he knows what Fish would do or what she is capable of doing. So maybe I think that was a thread that I would like to have seen played out a little bit more in this particular episode. Not that I would want it to take too much extra time, because obviously there was a lot in this episode to begin with. It's just, we got a very quick glimpse of her making muffins. And I guess she did it based off of a recipe that Falcone gave her, probably something that his mother made him. Yeah. And that was a nice touch. But I just want to see a little bit more of where that's going to go. And I think that may be my only nitpick for this particular episode, but it's not really a big one. Speculations. I could see it going out into a full war where Fish is about to make a giant move, but then Penguin just pulls a curtain on her and tells Falcone, or reveals to Fish before he kills her that he's working with Falcone, and that whatever move she was going to do, she was doomed anyway.
It could go that way. I could also see it going slightly the opposite direction, where the Penguin pulls that trump card, and then Fish takes it to the next level and takes out Falcone. And that could also.
Oh yeah.
It really.
I could see that too.
It could go either of those two directions, because it would be like if the Penguin if Cobblepot really just pulls that trump card, and she's like, well, okay, and then all of a sudden, she just like loses it for a second and maybe puts a bullet right in Falcone there.
Right then and there, Penguin's done.
Yeah, so it could, because we're already seeing that Fish is struggling with her anger management issues.
Yeah.
She's really, at that point...
Impulsive.
She's extremely impulsive. And we got that right from the first episode.
Yeah, without a doubt.
When she had, Bullock and Gordon strung up in the meat.
Ready to get killed.
But, so, I think that my speculation falls in line with yours, only I think it could go either direction.
Yeah, and you said that earlier, where it could fork off. At this point, it could fork off.
Exactly, it really could. I think my other speculation would be is that, we've already talked about this. Bullock, I feel, is definitely going to go onto Gordon's side. He's just going to do it in a grumpy old man kind of way. Mm-hmm. And, which is fine by me, because I love the character.
And from last episode, you've seen Bullock's original motive and drive.
Yeah, and
to be a hero in a sense,
and you did get you did get a little bit of that white knight. I'm not even talking about the flashback. You did get a little bit of that white knight.
Yeah.
When he realized that the goat, spirit of the goat was back.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, overall, excellent episode. I don't have much else to say speculation wise, and nitpicks weren't really that heavy. So I'm gonna go on.
You want to move on to news?
Absolutely. Let me start off as usual with our ratings news, guys. Guys, excellent news. This week, Gotham, for the first time since it started, actually went up in viewership this week. Last week, it was remember we were talking about. Yeah, it was supposed to go around. It was about 5.8 million last week, and this week it went up to
shot up.
About 6.6 million. Mm-hmm. So it actually, literally, I don't know if it was how good the episode was last week or word of mouth, but somewhere along the line, somebody decided that it was time to start watching. Yeah. So this episode,
either that or Monday Night Football really sucked.
Was it my team playing?
Yeah.
Or maybe they damn, they're losing, I'm just going to go Gotham.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, guys, having ratings increases is an extremely important thing, because when your ratings increase, you get a much better chance at the second season.
Yeah, very, very better, good chance.
If we can keep it around that 6 to 6.5 million viewer level, expect to see a season 2. I really do expect to. Any news, Milky?
Believe it or not, I was wrong. A couple episodes I said that Harvey Dent would be around Bruce's age, but he's actually going to be around Gordon's age. So he's going to be quite significantly older than Bruce. Mm-hmm. And when he eventually becomes Two-Face, he'll be really old.
I guess it sort of makes sense. As flamboyant as it was, Schumacher's version of Two-Face, I think, was decently older than Bruce.
Yeah, I would say so.
Maybe not much older, but enough, so.
Within 5-10 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Who, for me, always has a consistent look. He never really ages, but he never really looks young either,
Yeah. And Harvey Dent's going to appear on November 17th in an episode called Harvey Dent. So that's when we'll see him. That's going to be a couple weeks. Where I've heard word that Scarecrow is set to appear as a kid in the series, and
that has definitely been announced.
From what I've been reading, is that he gets the persona from his father.
Okay.
So it could be like a pass down, type of thing.
Okay.
And that episode 8 on Monday is going to be called The Mask. Episode 9 is Harvey Dent on the 17th, and on the 24th, the episode 10 is called Lovecraft.
At that point, guys, I think we might end up going into a hiatus at that point. No real news on that yet, but usually...
And we don't know if it might be like, an hour, 2 hour, hour and a half, like, special or whatever.
Yeah, I mean...
So we haven't heard anything about that, like, a 90-minute episode or something.
Routinely, between 8 and 10 episodes, and usually around early to mid-December, you start seeing your shows go into hiatus until after the season.
Till, January, mid-January.
Yeah. And then you usually get, maybe about another 4 or 5 episodes in at that point, and then they go on hiatus again.
Yeah.
So let's, again, this is a speculation on it, but expect that.
And it's already November. Who knows? In January they can announce it, like, when they make other show announcements coming back for second seasons or they got picked up.
You get those announcements around March and April, but if the show does well enough, you could see an early pickup. And you can hear early pickups as early as December, January.
Yeah.
So if the ratings continue to climb or even hold where they are, I wouldn't surprise me to get a second season.
And just a little stupid fun fact: Episode 6 had the lowest viewership so far. So out of like the whole slew of up to 7 episodes now? So.
Yeah. But we're back, and we're doing well. So guys, I'm gonna trail off for just like 1 second. I read a little bit earlier. This is not Batman related. It's not Gotham related. It says comic book related and TV related. I have read earlier that there is a contract dispute between DirecTV and AMC Network. Of course, most of you know AMC Network because it houses one of the most popular shows on television. That is The Walking Dead.
Comic Man.
Yeah, of course, Comic Book Man is there. Guys, if you like your AMC shows and you have DirecTV, there is a possibility of program interruption after the end of the year because the contract, I think, runs out at the end of the year, and then an AMC is contractually obligated to only provide like another month and a half to 2 months worth of programming, which would mean that the shows like The Walking Dead would still be airing.
So make sure you write your letters to your local congressman to make sure.
Guys, I only bring that up because, in all honesty, we joke, but if you want your voice heard, you got to talk to your provider if you're a DirecTV customer. You also have to let AMC know that you're interested in the show staying on that, the network staying on your program guide. So I didn't want to stray too far away from Batman, guys, but I think this is actually some important news because I know there's a lot of Walking Dead fans out there. Comic Book Man is a really fun show for me, and I know there's a lot of other great shows on AMC out there. So if you are a DirecTV customer, make your voice heard, guys.
Yep.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add about Gotham?
No, nothing really. I think we covered everything.
Again, guys, these podcasts go really nice and quick and smoothly when when these episodes are rocking all kinds of you-know-what, Guys, again, Monday nights, 8 o'clock. Again, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, not 9 o'clock. Tune in to watch Gotham. Join us every single week. I do apologize, guys. We don't always get these up on a consistent day. It is reliant on work schedules between us. Mm-hmm. But we will usually have it up by Saturday every week. And Facebook page.
Facebook, and if you want to email us, crimealleypodcast@gmail.com.
Of course. And we want to hear from you. Guys, we love seeing writing on our Facebook wall. We love hearing from you guys. We really like to talk about this show. We wouldn't be doing a podcast.
Let's get a discussion going.
Let's get a real discussion going. So join us every single week. Watch Gotham. Come back to us. This is the Metal Geek signing out.
See you later. It's Milky.
Have a great one, guys. Okay? Have an awesome week.